This episode is presented to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Welcome back. All the smoke, day 2 in LA.
It's been a fun run.
Yes, sir.
Max has been out here having a good time. We got to sit down with the legend yesterday. Get to sit down with another legend today.
Gold status.
I just want to read some accolades real quick before I introduce this person. 2-time NCAA champ at SC. Won the first 4 WNBA championships.
How many?
4 straight.
Okay, make sure.
Was the finals MVP of all 4 chips.
How many?
4.
Okay.
Yeah. 8-time overseas scoring champ. I mean, and that's just some of the accolades. Welcome to the show, the one and only, Miss Cynthia Cooper.
All right. I'm excited to be
here.
here.
Long overdue. We had to chase you down.
Yeah,
Happy
that's not
belated
what
birthday.
happened. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy belated.
You do anything fun for your birthday?
I didn't really do anything fun. Well, I guess I did. I couldn't say that because then my son would get all mad, right? So I had dinner with my son and kind of chilled out. We binge watched some movies and television series.
Yeah.
I'm really low key like that. I don't need to party. Every once in a while, I enjoy being on somebody's island just for, working on my color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
Gotta work on your color.
Yeah, need that.
What's going on in life today besides that?
I do training. I train kids. I actually was telling someone I hurt my foot the other day playing one-on-one with some 12-year-olds. Yeah, man.
How did that go?
They didn't get the drill right. I was like, jab, this is the jab. It's more of a flinch. Do it this way.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Check up. Just old school. You
didn't hurt yourself on the first jab, did you?
No.
Oh,
I heard it
God.
on. Hey, look, I heard it on the in and out move. Actually,
Ooh,
I was
okay.
trying in and out, and then I was gonna do the runner off the glass.
You look like it's still there, though.
Man, it's still there.
It's
I'm
in her
still going
mind.
by people.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still going by people. Yeah, I just be pulling from my bag.
But sometimes our minds are a lot sharper than our bodies once we're done playing.
And when I noticed that my foot was like boom, 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 and I was like, yo, you know what? A little too much.
Yeah.
A little too much.
Let's talk about the current state of the WNBA with all the money and all the attention is getting.
I love it. I love the current state. And what I love about it is that this past rookie class, they were the first rookie class to really bridge the gap between the NCAA fans and the W fans. They brought their fans with them. Before there was a disconnect.
Yeah.
From they're playing in March Madness and in college to them going and playing and performing in the WNBA. This past rookie class, they were the first ones to kind of bridge that gap and bring their fans with them, which then brought viewership, sponsorship, money, more money. And I love it. The other thing that I'm super impressed with is the talent. Because girls get a chance to dream of playing in the WNBA, now they're preparing sooner.
Right.
So they're getting to the W more complete. Their games are more balanced. And then they're bringing that talent, to the W. And now we have the fans and people are really seeing how special women's sports are.
You had a quote that said, "One thing I'm proud of about my journey is I never got bitter."
Yeah, man. Sometimes when you see all this money they making and you didn't make it, and they have Unrivaled, and for Unrivaled, I had to go back overseas and get some money. You could become like a little jealous, like I wish I was.
A hater.
I wish I was there. A little hater.
Yep.
You can become a hater, but not me. I love it. Like I love everything that they're getting. They deserve it. I love the fact that the walking into the arena has become the new red carpet. And I love that the athletes are able to showcase not just the talents on the court, but who they are off the court. And a lot of times that's what gains fan support. When you show who you are off the court, when you demonstrate that you're more than just a basketball player.
We'll get back in touch on your time at SC, but talk to the current.
Oh, that's because you're a Bruin?
No, I have no
was my
issues
bad.
with that.
Yeah, I'm neutral, so don't get mad at me.
Zero issues with that. But what I want to say is you finished college as the best player in the nation. What were your options in America at that time?
None.
Nothing.
As a matter of fact, not only did I not have options in America, I barely had options overseas.
Wow.
you got to remember, when I was in college, it was the McGee twins. It was the Cheryl Miller show. So Cheryl Miller was that girl, that player, right? And the McGee twins were right there, Twin Towers, right? I actually came off the bench for the first 3 years.
Wow.
Right? So I was a role player. Now I played now. I hit
finished
some
the
shots.
games.
I hit some shots now. But that wasn't real. I wasn't the star. And so, coming out of college, nobody really believed that I could perform. And it's funny because while I was a role player, in my mind, I was the best. Like in my mind, I was a champion. In my mind, I was a go-to player. I was just playing the role I needed to play on my team for us to win a championship, right? So then when I got overseas, the first thing I did, my first year was in Spain. I averaged close to 45 points. That's average. I was giving them numbers, dragging everybody, the dog, the cat, everybody was going to the home. Everybody could get some, right? Because I had to prove myself. I had a chip on my shoulder, right? My first year in Italy, I averaged 39 point year. Giving them numbers. Why? Because they were supposed to be the best league. And I just wanted them to know, y'all missed out. Right? Once again, with a chip on your shoulder, right? So that was my opportunity after college.
I want to back up real quick because you said something that I think we all grew up having to learn is we had to pay our dues.
Yeah.
Now kids hop in the portal if a coach looks at them wrong.
Right.
Or if they play bad and don't play, what did you learn from paying your dues and kind of riding your time and understanding and how did that help you in the long term as a player?
Accountability. I learned accountability. I learned that if I wanted to be great, I had to put work in. I learned that I had to work. I couldn't blame it on anybody else because at the end of the day, coaches don't go out on the court. Coaches don't come off the screens. Coaches don't have one-on-one on the wings. Coaches don't have to read the defense on the court, in real time. I learned that I had to be accountable for me, for my training, for my moves to the basket, for my shooting percentages, free throw percentage, and how I helped my team be better, win championships. I had to be accountable for that. And so as a result, I put in work. Like I didn't start playing basketball until I was 15. So I started playing at 15. By the time I got to college, I had only been playing basketball for 3 years. Now I might add, I did average 31 points as a senior in high school. I'm throwing that out there.
You go ahead and throw that shit.
Yeah. But I had one scholarship offer, and that was from USC.
Wow.
Right? And so I learned hard work will get you there. And then loyalty, right? I was loyal. I was loyal to my high school for giving me an opportunity. I was loyal to USC for opening up the windows of the world to me. And because of that, I was able to go overseas with another level of confidence that, okay, like I wasn't the star, but I am a star. Like I can be great. I can be great if I'm willing to put the work in and look myself in the mirror when I have a bad game and go get better.
You're from Watts. There's another young lady coming from Watts currently and kind of followed your footsteps from Watts to SC. Unfortunately, we all saw what happened to JuJu tear her knee during the tournament. Any relationship with her, and what have you thought of her game up to this point in her first season and a half?
Yeah, I shoot her communications and texts and all the time. And I just love JuJu.
How can you not?
I mean, I love JuJu. I love the work she put in. I love when she has a bad game, she's in the gym working on her craft. I love that with everything that's going on around her, she still focuses on the game that she loves and that she has almost perfected, right? And I love that there's always growth, right? When you see JuJu as a freshman and have the accomplishments she did, she didn't just settle there for that. She came back her sophomore year and just better, adding to her bag, adding to her game, constantly growing, right? So I love where she is, and I know when she comes back from this injury, she's gonna be better because mentally, you have to be a strong person to come out of the inner city. And then you have to be a a even stronger person to transition your mind from Watts to USC, from USC to being the best player in college basketball. And you have to be able to separate mentally what happens off the court from what you're doing on the court. And JuJu has perfected that. Like, she knows when she needs to get in the gym and get some extra shots up.
Well said.
When she needs to add to her bag. So love where she is, and I love where she's going.
We, especially men's basketball, a lot of us come from, the hood and hard demographics, and we don't hear too many stories about women having to overcome a lot of odds and come out. You come from Watts. Paint the picture of your childhood coming out of Watts.
Yeah, man. The first thing that came to my mind is I'm hungry. You just hungry. Syrup sandwiches, government cheese.
Yes, indeed. I know what the syrup sandwiches.
Man, and just the fact that it wasn't always easy to get to school. You're catching a bus. At the time, it was called RTD, Rapid Transit District. And when you live in Watts, I had to walk from that bus stop home and make it there safely, right? So I grew up it was very tough with 7 siblings. And
where are you at in the hierarchy?
I'm the middle. I'm kind of the middle, right? My brother Ricky was killed in 85. I was in college. And it was tough growing up in Watts, but I wouldn't trade my upbringing for anything because it really taught me how to persevere, how to be determined. Like my mom, she raised 8 kids by herself.
Wow.
It seemed like she worked for 24 hours. So I didn't always get the hug or the nurturing that other people say they need, but I did get an example of the dedication and the determination that a parent has to not allow their kids to start in the same place they did. And for that, man, I put in the work, right? And sometimes, I remember almost getting a whooping because I didn't get a whooping because I'm funny. Like, I have jokes, like 3.
I could tell.
Yeah, man. I have 3 jokes. And we were getting ready to go to catch the bus to Disneyland, which takes about a day. Anyway. And my mom told me to not put too much Vaseline on my head. And I was oiling it up. And I walked out there, my doggone forehead was shinier than the sun. What? Big old forehead, shiny as ever. Didn't I tell you not to put? I said, Mommy, my forehead just big and shiny. She started laughing. I didn't get a whooping. Disneyland, here we come.
Yeah.
She rolled with it.
But that was my upbringing. I went to Locke High School, LOCKE, Gompers Junior High, 118th Elementary School. And then with my one scholarship offer, because we won the championship my senior year, we won the state championship. I was able to get a scholarship to USC.
And that came later? That came like after the season, after you guys had won it, you had already had it offered?
Oh, no, after we won.
Oh, wow. So
I didn't have an offer
So you didn't really
before.
know what was going on up until until it came?
Nah, I didn't have an offer until we won the championship.
That's crazy.
South Central has produced a lot of famous people, athletes, artists. During your time of upbringing, did you grow up with anybody that made it, or we would know?
I didn't really have a lot of role models that had made it out of Watts growing up, but the Lakers were really who I tried to model my game out. Norm Nixon was my guy.
Norm.
Yeah, man. Jamal Wilkes. I didn't like his shot, but it's all good, right?
He made it work.
I made it work. And I would say Michael Cooper's defense, but I ain't really play no defense.
That wasn't your thing.
It was really not my thing, but I love the way he was always that team player, right? The glue that kept everyone together. Magic, Magic just at his size, with everything he was able to do, from the shot, from the passing, from running the fast break to playing in the post. Like, he was that complete player that you wanted to be, right? And so I modeled my game a lot after the Laker players, because I didn't have any female role models to model my game after. And besides, whenever I played pickup, I was dragging some guy to the rim, and his boys was on the sideline reaming them out, talking mess, yeah, they were over there, oh my God, she's killing you. I'm like, well, you next. Who got next? What we doing?
Jack, what would you do if she was just cooking you?
I'll just take it.
No, you wouldn't. You be blowing me.
Let me tell you why. My older sister was a top player in Texas coming out of high school, and I took a couple whippings from her, so I know what it feel like.
Yeah.
I know what it feel like. It's not the same as getting beat by a male, let me say that. It's not the same. It's definitely worse. And
I was about to say, it should be way worse.
Yeah, she gonna remind me to this day.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you into the hip-hop scene?
Say that one more time.
Were you into the hip-hop scene?
Never really been into the hip hop scene. I will tell you, for me, I'm so driven and so focused. And I really had a fear growing up that if I veered too far off my path, I would lose myself, right? I would lose that battle with gangs and drugs and all sorts of things happening in my neighborhood. I really wanted to stay focused and stay on that path, and I did. I remember, growing up, I went to, my mom sent me to the supermarket. Of course, I had to walk to the supermarket. I had a red scarf on because I had curlers in my head, the pink ones, the hard ones that hurt when you sleep. Yeah. Those. So I had those in my hand, and I had a scarf on, and I remember getting ready to walk into the store, and two guys standing right there. They just snatched the scarf off and burned it in front of me. And I was just like, what? No, what's up? What's that? What? I was like, I just come to get some milk and cereal. That was an experience, like that taught me that you can't go too far from where you're supposed to be. And you have to be cognizant of, who's around you and the effect they can have on your life.
Yeah.
For real. Take a look at this video right here. Cynthia Cooper.
Woo! We could not see eye to eye on anything.
Shaq and Kobe.
Oh, it was, and I will say, she was Kobe,
I got the
and I
Jane
had
girl.
some Shaq in her because I had some Shaq in me, where Kobe, you can be you, but you ain't gonna tell me how to do things. And I would sit there, I'm like, Cooper, do you ever shut up? Let me just ask, do you ever shut up? And
She younger than you?
Older.
Okay.
Older. And I was, look, coming out of high school, you're hearing you're the end all be all. I started drinking my Kool-Aid at a very young age. So now I got this other mouth who wants to go at me. I've got, I knew I was good, but I didn't believe I was good. So I was insecure. So you're gonna challenge me. I ain't no punk.
Right.
I may live in Riverside, but I ain't no punk. So she would come out, I'm from Watts. She would say that I'm from Watts. I'm like, and
She from Watts.
a fist still tastes the same.
Yeah.
A fist still tastes the same. Want to try it? And we were sitting there, and the twins are like, Cheryl, she's from Watts, and I would pop up, I don't care, But on the court, simpatico.
Yeah.
Simpatico. But I will say a couple things about Cynthia. A self-made, driven, superstar, Hall of Famer, so well-deserved.
Don't get no better than that, man.
You arguably played with the greatest female player of all time, and as you talked to earlier, you kind of had to pay your dues and fit into a role to help the team win. That's not always easy, especially with someone as good as you are and ended up being able to kind of spread your wings post-college. But how was it in college with that team, particularly Cheryl and the twins and the chemistry and winning at the same time?
Yeah, so did I mention I was a little rough around the edges when I got to college?
Of course.
I didn't mention that. Yeah, I was, straight out of the Watts.
believe it.
Like you talking about I was straight out of Watts. And so I didn't know what I didn't know. And it was hard for Cheryl and I to see eye to eye, mainly because she was up here and I was down here. So I'm like, yo, listen, I thought I was the greatest. I thought I had it, like I was it. And so I had a chip on my shoulder coming from the inner city, you know, going to USC, and then here comes Cheryl Miller, you know, 105 points in a game. I'm like, yo, but she ain't play against me. They didn't want none of Locke High School, LOCKE. They ain't want none of that, right? They ain't want none of that, right? So I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. And then we have our first practice. And I say, shit. Dang, Coop, you got to get better. Like, she was so great.
Wow.
So talented. And she played so hard. The first thing that came to mind was, Coop, she better than you.
Damn.
You gotta do better. I went to work after that. I went to work. So, you know, I had to talk my shit because I didn't have what she had.
Yeah.
And I had to work and work because she was amazing, especially at her size. She was the first at her size to have that level of talent. Knock down the three, get to the rim, play defense, run the fast break. You name it, she could do it. And I was like, wow, I want to be like you. So, you know, I had to, you know, try to punk her because I ain't had a game to match up. You know? I ain't had it.
We've used that tactic a lot.
I've
used that a lot in my career.
I'm like,
and
yo,
it works.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
My whole career.
You got to get your bluff in, right? I had so much to learn and so much to add to my game, and she already had it. Like, I was like, oh my God, she's great. I ain't tell her that. I did not tell her that.
Yeah. I did not tell her that.
I'm like, yo, I'm from Watts. I will whoop you.
Yeah.
She was like, yo, I'm from Riverside. Don't care about no Riverside. This is Watts up in the building.
Watts in the building.
Watts in the building. McGee twins. She got real tough. I love Cheryl. Y'all know I love Cheryl. She got real tough when she was standing behind the McGee twins holding her back. Twins. Flint, Michigan. They were the wall in between us. No, it was great. Cheryl was like, she's my GOAT. She was the greatest I had ever seen. Wow. And I only wanted to be like her. I wanted to raise my game. I didn't look at the coaching staff. I didn't look at her. I went in the gym. I was like, yo, you got to develop a left hand. You got to develop a mid-range game. You got to not be able to shoot the three. If you want to slash to the basket, your game has to be more complete. It has to be like hers.
She had a complete package.
Complete package. And she played so doggone hard, y'all. She played hard. I'm not diving under the scoreboard. I'm not doing that. Right? Because I grew up in Watts, right? I played outside. Ain't nobody diving outside. Come on now. We're not doing that. She played in the gym. I'm over here at Venice Beach, Memorial, the gym in Memorial, Santa Monica, Memorial. I'm out on the blacktops. I'm getting it in.
Yeah.
You know, I wish they would knock me down. I'm coming down on 2 feet. Boom. I'm not sliding for nobody. So, you know, that helped me in college, right? It helped me in the pros. I'm constantly in balance. Right now, you ain't bumping me off my line. Nope. I'm anticipating that contact. I'm meeting you where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, she was great. And she helped me be better. And as a result, I became who everyone saw in the WNBA because I had to deal with Cheryl Miller, the greatest of all time, at a very, very early age.
That's dope. Cheryl said you guys were the Showtime's little sisters. Obviously, you mentioned that team and that motivation and inspiration. Any stories you remember with those guys, Magic in particular, or any of them?
Well, I don't remember a lot of stories, but I remember Cheryl was Showtime. You remember, I came off the bench, y'all. I was in the second five. So for me, the McGee twins and Cheryl, they were Showtime. Me, I was trying to carve my spot out, right? The funny thing about my collegiate experience is by the time, 83, by the time we got to the championship game, we were the first all black starting 5.
Wow.
So I went from being on the bench the entire season to starting in the championship game. And we won that championship against Kim Mulkey and her crew. Deborah Rodman, Janice Lawrence. It was great because I ain't like them. Because Kim talked too much.
Was she nice?
No. She wasn't nice. She was a point guard.
Yeah.
Had those pigtails, man. Come on. Little braids in her hair. And look, y'all ready for this? I took my first and only collegiate charge. It was a block all the way, but they didn't call it a block.
Yeah.
They called it a charge.
Yeah.
The ball was tapped away. Kim tapped the ball away from Kathy, and I saw it happening. I was like, boom, she gonna. Tapped it to Janice Lawrence. Janice Lawrence passes it out to Kim Mulkey on the fast break. I sprint back, and look, y'all, they had been calling charges all game. Charges all game. So I said, if I try to block this girl's shot, they gonna call a foul on me. We only up by 2. They gonna call a foul on me. I said, I'm gonna take a charge. Hey, y'all, I ain't know how to take a charge. But I knew I had to try to take a charge. Took a charge, boom, charge on Kim Mulkey. We going down. Cheryl picks me up off the floor. She's jumping around. She's probably just jumping around because I took a charge.
That seemed like the scene from Love and Basketball.
Man,
Was that where they got that from?
They didn't pay me no money though.
They
They didn't give me my due.
Remember the scene when Monica turned the ball over, she sprinted back down?
That's right.
They kind of changed it a little bit, but
Yeah, see? Yeah.
they owe you something.
Yeah, they owe me something.
Come on the show and you owe her some money. I'm going to give you a few names. You talked about them, but Deborah Rodman.
A little crazy, but a great.
A little crazy.
Look crazy, but you know what? It was funny. First of all, she came by honest. We know her brother. But she was just a shot blocking machine. Defensive player. She was tough around the basket. So, I enjoy going up against everybody, right? Because, I played against guys. So, when they let me play against girls, I was like, all right, cool. Thank you.
How hard was that? I'm diverting a little bit, but I was going to ask you, playing on these black tops, there's not too many women out there, if any.
Right.
So what was that like coming up and kind of earning your stripes and earning respect for the men out there?
Yeah, it was tough at first because you have to prove yourself. The other thing it taught me was you got to be creative and you have to be lethal. Like you can't get out there and miss 3 shots because then they start talking. This is a man's game. You ain't supposed to be out here anyway. Like, what you doing? You're a girl, right? So I learned to be efficient. I learned to attack. And also I learned that when I attack, I'm going to draw everybody because every guy believes they're better than every girl just because they're a guy.
No question.
And every guy is going to try to beat your shot up when you go to the rim.
No question.
Every single one of them. So they're going to go for every shot fake. They're going to go for every time you go to the rim because in their minds, they're getting ready to beat this up. So I'm dishing off, I'm past and we winning. And we sitting them down. And they boys talking mad, crazy trash on the sideline to them. And I'm loving every minute. Then they start talking to me. And now you talk about shit talking, man. I got some one-liners for your ass. Yes. Come on. Quick, precise, cut. Right? So that was me. That was me learning, right? That was me learning my craft, but it also taught me how to take contact when I played in games and how to get teammates involved so that you balance your game out and they can't always double team you, right? That's what playing against guys and how quick they are and strong and athletic. It taught me those things so that when I applied those to my games when I played in college or when I played overseas and I got triple teamed overseas or they're playing super physical and trying to keep me from scoring because overseas, they don't care. You getting paid to score.
Yeah.
You getting paid to score, you getting paid to win. They don't care that they're triple teaming you and the official's not making a call. So, I learned a lot playing on the black tops in LA.
Bro, that's some 95s you rocking?
Yes, sir. Better late than never. Couldn't afford them in high school, but I can now.
How much they hit you for?
Couple hundred.
Let me check that out. I'm about to get those.
Whether you're hunting for the latest drops you may have missed or investing in the grails, StockX is where you need to be.
And they don't just do sneakers. We're talking about watches, collectibles, electronics, StockX got it all.
StockX gives you global access and transparent pricing. A marketplace that keeps it 100 every time. That's what StockX is bringing to the game.
Stay fresh with StockX.
Tommy John's have changed the game. Their underwear are the most comfortable I've ever worn. They're silky soft, breathable, and lightweight. If you don't believe me, check the waistband. Ever since Tommy John has been sending me products, it's all I've been wearing. They're the true MVP in the underwear game. What are some of the problems that other underwear brands give you that Tommy John doesn't? These things let my balls breathe. And that's the most important thing. They hold them nice and tight, but they can also breathe. So get you some. Double down with comfort on Tommy John and get 25% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/smoke with the promo code SMOKE. Save 25% at TommyJohn.com/smoke. I'll see you there.
You ever had one of those moments when you want to elevate your night? Maybe it's a dinner with friends or a celebration that calls for something extra. That's where Grand Marnier comes in. You probably heard of it, but have you tried the signature drink? The Grand Margarita. It's the twist of a classic margarita. It has the smooth richness of Grand Marnier's cognac, and combined with orange liqueur, a bit of citrus, and just the right amount of sweetness. With a taste like that, it's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're chilling at the crib or out with friends, a Grand Marg remixes a regular cocktail into something extraordinary. Don't just settle for a good cocktail when you can have something grand. It's about making your next drink one to remember. So when you're making your next margarita, remix it and make it grand with Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style, drink responsibly.
The NBA playoffs have been crazy. I don't know about you guys, but I've been glued to the couch watching all the games. And when I'm tapped in, I'm also playing DraftKings Pick6. For the playoffs, I've teamed up with DraftKings to bring you guys closer to all the action. All new players can play $5 and get $50 at bonus picks. Playing is easy. Pick at least 2 players and decide if they have more or less of a stat. Download the DraftKings Pick6 app now. Use my promo code SMOKE when signing up. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
First 10 years overseas, you won scoring titles the first 8, but the first 10, you could have won all 10 because you was in the runnings to win all 10, but you won 8. Was that in Italy or Spain?
Italy.
Italy. And you only made $20K. Talk about that experience.
Yeah. First, let me say this. I only made $20K going over because that was the pay scale. And I didn't care because I wanted to get my foot in the door because I felt like if I got my foot in the door,
that would open up more doors.
it would open up more opportunities, right? And so, yeah, I could have made more stand in America, but I wanted to pursue a dream of playing professional basketball.
Right.
And so I went over there and I took a chance. I betted on me. I betted on my skill set, on my drive and determination, right? I chose, me. And so I went over there, and like I said, I'm dragging people. I'm giving them numbers. We winning games. I'm not just scoring. We're winning. Because I'm not just a scorer. I want to win in everything I do. I want to be the best. And so, going over there, being scoring champion when other people were picked before me, right? And other people had the names. They wanted Teresa Edwards. They wanted Janice Lawrence. They wanted other, players and not me. So I had to turn the tide, right? I had to turn that spotlight onto me. And you do that by rolling up your sleeves and going to work.
You always talk about, you have mixed emotions about your time overseas. Being from Watts and going to Italy, like that culture shock.
Yeah. So, I'm a kid from Watts. Did I mention I was rough around the edges? I didn't mention that.
And I don't believe it even if you did.
I go to Watts and I get my first coach over there. I go to Italy, and my first coach is Antonio Morabito. And all Antonio Morabito wanted me to do was shut up. Now Cheryl told y'all that I talk too much, right? She did mention that, right? So I'm over here. I'm trying to learn the language. They don't speak they speak broken English. I don't speak any Italian. And every time I tried to explain something, he would say, "Shut up." Shut up. And I'd be like, no, but finally I said, shut up is offensive. He said, shut up. Yo, I'm ready to tear his head off his shoulders. I'm ready to. So finally, I just bolt out the gym. I actually jog back to my apartment. It's like 5 miles away. I just run back. That's how hot I'm packing my stuff. I'm ready to get out of there. The president of the team comes. He tries to explain. I was like, nah, I'm good. Boom. Packing myself. Remember, I'm from Watts. So I ain't about to take this. Anyway. So he talked me down. I go back. We talk it out. He ends up being one of my favorite coaches in the world. He challenged me. He helped me to be better. And then a year and a half later, I learned the language. Yeah, adesso io parlo italiano.
Yeah, you can talk shit back.
Cosa vuoi? Io capisco quello che stai dicendo.
Okay.
So you had shit to say, so you gotta learn how to say it.
I know how to get the ball. I know where my money is coming. I know when it's late. I can tell you when it's late. Come on now. Yeah, I mess around. The kid from Watts, I mess around and learn your language. Yes, I did. In a small city called Parma. Parmigiano Reggiano, prosciutto di Parma. Anyway, we'll go there another time. So yeah, I learned the language, and all the time, I'm never thinking, I'm not supposed to be doing this because I'm a kid from Watts. I'm not supposed to be able to learn another language. I'm not supposed to be able to go to Italy and average 39, 40 points. I'm not supposed to. That people don't believe I can do this. It never dawned on me that I wasn't supposed to do that. I just knew that that's what I needed to do, and I did it.
From overseas, can you walk us through how the WNBA got formed?
Yeah, so I had been hearing about 2 leagues, the ABL and the WNBA. Well, at the time, I didn't know it would be called the WNBA. I just knew that there was going to be a team or a league created by the NBA, played in the summer. So I was like, that's opposite of my season overseas. I get to come back to America in my mind. So first people I called was the ABL. They were the ABL. And I was like, yo, I'm Cynthia Cooper. I'd love to try out for one of your teams. I played at USC, and they were like, we have enough guards. And I was like, okay, it looks like I'm going back overseas, right? So I'll go back overseas, but now I know that they're confirming that they're going to start a league. The NBA is going to start a women's league in the summer. So I get it together. I get my stat sheets. I get the stat sheets. I get film, VHS at the time. Yep. Put it all together. And before I send it off,
I know this story.
I called Renee Brown.
Yeah.
Called Renee Brown just to let her know that the package was coming. And I call her. I say, yo, Renee, I really would love to play in the WNBA. I'm Cynthia Cooper. I play in Parma, Italy. I've been over here. And she's like, who? She's like, who? Cynthia Cooper. I said, yeah, I have this package I want to send. She's like, in Italy, in Parma? I said, yeah. She said, girl, we've been looking for you.
You top on our draft board.
You in the top 8. Where do we send the contract? I'm like, but on the phone, I was like, oh, you can send the contract to.
That's a crazy story,
that's dope. I never heard that.
Story,
man,
dog.
I had everything together to send. And she was like, oh, you in our top 8. Where do we send the contract? I was like, I call my mom. I'm yelling, I'm gonna win the WNBA. I'm gonna win. She said, hold on, what's going on? Are you all right? I said, I'm playing the WNBA, Mom. I'm coming home. Yeah.
Before we come home and talk about that, speak to the grind, that overseas grind. I mean, it's a lot of practice. Talk to what that grind, and it's 10 to 11 months. It's a long season too, right?
Yeah, it's like a 10-month season. And I think the grind is, for me, there's no grind harder than growing up in Watts. And I ran track, and I just was like, whatever it takes. So for me, I was up for it. I wasn't the type to go out to party. I'm not partying because I'm going to drag you tomorrow. So you're not going to catch me in the club. You might catch me after, but let me give you some numbers first. Right? And so it was tough playing overseas. The biggest part was being away from your family and your friends. Right? You just all of a sudden gone for most of the year. right? And then you come back, you lose touch with friends, and people forget you. And so it was tough. It was tough, but I made tons of friends in Italy. I traveled all over Europe, Valencia, and then Firenze. And then I played 2 years on the island of Sicily, in Sicilia, in a city called Alcamo. So I took full advantage of this kid from Watts being over in Europe, right? I didn't just sit back and play basketball. I really learned the culture, and I literally lived as an Italian in Italy. And that really, it was a great time for me, a great time in my life.
First 4 years, you go 4 for 4.
Yeah.
Was it easy the first couple years?
Well, it wasn't easy. First of all, because when I got back, I didn't know that I would be as successful as I was, right? I didn't know that we would be that successful because I hadn't played against All-Americans in a long time. Normally, there are only 2 foreign players per team over in Italy. So, I put up numbers there, but who knew that it was going to translate here? So I just went back to work, right? I went to add to my bag and get better.
How old were you first year in the W?
34. I turned 35.
And coach was holding you back when you first came too. He wasn't letting you loose at first.
He wouldn't let me loose.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me. So I get there, and it's Cheryl Swoop's team.
Yep.
But she pregnant. I had nothing to do with that, y'all.
Offense was built around her and everything.
Everything. We Got Next was built around Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo. They ain't have my name nowhere in there, right? But then you give me an opportunity. And remember, that's the same opportunity when I was making $20,000 overseas. You give me the opportunity, and I'm just gonna come in and do what I have to do, right? And so I'm playing, and I'm thinking, I could do more. I could do more. So I have a meeting with Coach Chancellor. Coach Chancellor's like, yo, cool, you already mid-season MVP. You know, yeah. I said, Coach, but I can give you more. Like I can do more. He's like, all right, man. He let me go. And now I'm going to the rim. I'm making players better. We as a team get better. And nobody expected us to make it to 500 without Cheryl, and we go win a championship. You know, Nike has signed me to like a real, just a regular deal, just right out of, first year in a W. They don't know, a very basic deal. And then I win MVP. Then we win the championship. And then I'm MVP of the playoffs. And they were like, can we renegotiate? Can we sign you for a little longer? And so they came back to the table. So it was just a good time for me. Yeah.
Expand on that Nike situation. You ended up getting your own shoe.
Yeah. So
talk to us about that.
No, when you dream of playing professional basketball, you dream of championships. You dream of winning hitting the winning shot of a game. You even might dream of being an MVP. But you never dream, or at least I didn't, of having your own shoe. And I was just like, remember you guys, I'm that same kid from Watts. I'm the kid at USC that was looking up at Cheryl Miller. And now Nike is going to give me my own signature shoe. I was like, I just felt incredibly honored, and I was blown away by the opportunity that Nike afforded me and a lot of other female athletes. They've always been out in the forefront. And I was like, yo, once again, I went back to my mom, like, yo, we getting some shoes. We getting some shoes
man,
up in the building.
Deal. Come on now.
Yeah, so it was a great moment for me.
What come to mind when you see that picture?
Yeah, greatness. I'll just say greatness. So that picture was at a Nike event when Phil Knight was retiring. And so we were all there to celebrate Phil Knight. A really quick story before that picture. I pull up to the hotel, get out the car. I see some Italian speaking, people in front of me. I can understand. They're checking into the hotel, and they're speaking Italian. Boom, I check in. We happen to be in the elevator together. So we're going up, and I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, I know this guy. It's Paolo Maldini from Milan AC. I'm like, yo, in Italian, yo so chi sei, tu sei Paolo Maldini, tu sei un mito. He's just looking at me like, this black girl in
Right?
Beaverton, Oregon, speaking Italian. What? His kids are there, his wife is there, and they're just all looking at me like, and then I explained that I played basketball in Parma and all that good stuff, so they were less alarmed. But it was great. And then that picture, you know, Ray Pond, my Nike rep at the time, she was like, y'all get together. I mean, we didn't know it was gonna become iconic. We just all kind of got together and took the picture and then look at it. Look at all that greatness in that picture.
Is that Moses Malone in the back?
Yeah.
Moses Malone. And look, when they posted that picture, everybody was like, who's the girl? I'm like, shoot, besides Michael Jordan, I got more championships than everybody. You know, that's who the girl is. You
did. That's right. Any Kobe connection? Both of y'all having any relationship with Kobe? Y'all both have an Italy connection?
Yeah, so Kobe and I, every time we saw each other, just spoke Italian to each other. We speak Italian. We get to practice it. And he's just, you know, great. Just a great person. And just, so when I finally had kids and brought them to the game, I remember Kobe coming, I was walking in the back and he was like, he stopped me. And he was with his daughter, one of his daughters, and he was like, yo, this Cynthia Cooper, she un mito. She's a mito. And the girl was like, what does mito mean? I think he means legend. So yeah, Kobe and I were close. And I remember one time at an All-Star game, he was like warming up at half court, ball handling. And I was like, you know, what you gonna do? In the time, I was like, yo, cosa fai qua? Ma tu sei migliore or no? He's like, yeah, I'm better than all of them. And we're speaking in time. Don't nobody even know what we say. He's like, yeah, I'm better than all of them. So it was just, we're at half court, and you know how much media is around during practice. So it was, yeah.
That's dope.
MJ, any relationships?
Yeah, you know, so MJ is my GOAT. And he was one of the guys that when I was being inducted into the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame, hey, you guys, do not judge me, but this actually happened. It was natural. So they say, Cynthia Cooper, and I get up to walk up on stage, and Michael Jordan right there. So I just tapped him on his butt like, yo, your girl is in the building. I'm like, boom, Coop is here. Did I mention I was rough around the edges?
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm like, yo, your girl is in the Hall of Fame, yo.
That's dope.
That's fine.
What did that mean, though? Again, a girl from Watts.
Yeah.
I mean, and you did it. You won championships, historic career overseas and in the W. But when that phone call came,
yeah, man, I was so nervous because, you know, I'd only played 4 years in the W, right? And I didn't know that I would be a Hall of Famer because I didn't know if I had done enough. And so when that call came, I was so nervous. I was like, just jumping for joy. Once again, you dream, you know, you can dream of stuff. You never quite get to, I'm going to be a Hall of Famer. Like they're going to induct me into the Hall of Fame with Michael Jordan. And in my class, it was Scottie Pippen, the mailman. Dr. Buss was in my class, and rest in peace. It was just an extreme honor. And to be honest, I was a little overwhelmed, right? I'm still the kid at heart. My spirit is still that kid that everybody said you couldn't do this. You can't go there. You can't accomplish this. They never told me what I could do and who I could be. And so to be a Hall of Famer, it really solidifies that, you know, no matter where you come from, if you're willing to stay the course, if you're willing to believe in yourself, put in the work and believe that you can do it, like have that perseverance, type of spirit of perseverance, man, you can achieve what you want to.
That's beautiful. Congratulations. What year was that?
2010.
2010. This section is presented to you by our partners at StockX, another sneaker history moment. The Nike Air Max Shake It Up.
Yeah, man, that's me.
You said
That's
you
my
felt like
shoe.
this is your first signature shoe.
Yeah.
Take a look at this commercial right here.
Come on.
Cynthia Cooper, guard, Houston Comets.
Yeah, hi, what's
Why'd
your
you pull
name?
up 4-3 on the break last night?
Well, I was open.
Tina was open on the block.
Yeah, but
You know she's money down there. Why'd you take it? I know I wouldn't have.
because I was
My
open.
mama says because is not an answer.
Your mama's right.
Should've
Joe.
hit
Kyla
Tina down
Pratt.
low.
Yeah.
Yes. I promise I will next time.
Assuming there is a
Hard.
next
Those
time.
are dope too.
That was
Yeah.
fire, yeah.
Like a flame, like a
Yeah,
flame, like
yeah.
a jet engine.
Like
That
the
was
white
hard.
flame.
So just when we were shooting that commercial, Kyla Pratt was actually just like that. Like she was literally interrupting me right before I finished and I'm like, girl. What? So it was easy to shoot because she was literally being rude.
That's funny.
Right? And so I'm in Los Angeles. I'm doing some stuff in Los Angeles and I get on the plane and I'm flying back to Houston. So I always get there early. People who know me know that I get to the airport 2 hours early. They know that I'm one of the first on the plane because I want to put my bags up. I want to get settled in. And then everybody else is kind of getting on. So this is during the COVID, right after COVID, when people start to travel again, right? And so I get on the plane, I have my mask on, and a kid, I think she's a kid, comes and sit right next to me. I really don't look at first. She has her mask on. And then she takes her mask off and takes a sip of her iced coffee from Starbucks. And I said, so I get on my phone and I pull up the commercial. And I said, do you know this kid? She was like, Coop, Cynthia, she's like, take a picture. She's like, wait a minute, let me get a filter because it's early in the morning. It was just a great moment. Kyla Pratt sat right next to me in first
That's
class. It was
dope.
crazy.
I love it.
She's also from LA too, just so you know.
Yeah, she not a Bruin, is she? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I was joking.
You gotta ask that question around here. You gotta ask that question around here.
We deep around here. Be careful.
Jesus.
God damn, bro. You okay over there?
Man, this is crazy, man. These girls won't stop hitting my phone, bro.
I thought you just said you was dry a couple weeks ago.
Well, man, I've been using these Rose Sparks, man, and I guess the word is out on me, man.
Is it?
Yeah, man.
Because last thing I heard, you got a bad case. That's why you got to shave your
man,
facial hair.
Nah, no more flatlining, baby boy.
You're back.
I'm back, man.
Man, I might need to try these. Like, what's the process with them?
You put one of the lozenges under your tongue, man, and on average it's 15 minutes, man, and you ready to go. And
that
let me tell
right?
you, bro, it works, bro.
Looks like you're confident. Everything is going good with you.
Absolutely, bro. And the ladies are super satisfied.
Are they?
Man. Come on, man.
You're
You know what
back,
I'm
huh?
saying? Come
You
on,
ain't been
man.
back. You ain't really been back since like 98, 99,
Oh
though.
man, come on, don't do me like that, man. I'm back. I'm current right now.
Yeah,
baby.
up
it's
there.
all about getting back in the game.
You feeling good?
Absolutely, man. I had the flat tires, man, and now I'm burning rubber.
Yeah. Are you using rubber, though?
Good Lord. Well, at my age, man, you're not supposed to, but I'm still doing it, baby boy. Let me tell you, it's part of my budget now.
Well, congratulations, man. I'm glad you're back in the game.
I appreciate it. I really do.
No doubt.
If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks for your first order on a recurring plan. Connect with your provider at ro.co/smoke to find out if prescriptions of Rose Sparks is right for you. That's ro.co/smoke for $15 off your first order. This episode is brought to you by Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network. I know we stay joking, but let me take a second to put on my serious voice. Because this isn't a joking matter. Me personally, I would never joke about a 5G network that has invested billions in building 5G towers across the country.
Me neither.
Not even once.
Me neither.
Feel me?
Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store for more information.
The Boost Mobile network together with our roaming partners covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds not available in all areas. I love going to the movies. I'm hyped about the new Mission Impossible movie. It's one of the few franchises that keeps getting better and better every movie. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, has some of the craziest and most dangerous stunt sequences ever, making it the biggest practical action movie ever made. Tom Cruise is a G. Facts. I'm excited to see the reunion of the team with the incredible global cast. It's the best and biggest mission yet and the most fun you will have at the theaters this summer. Check out Mission Impossible in theaters May 23rd.
This episode is brought to you by Mando, my favorite deodorant in the game. Mando was created by a doctor and is clinically proven to block odor all day. Choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, clover wood, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. I like Mando because it keeps me fresh all day. I've been using the solid deodorant stick and the spray deodorant. Mando's starter pack is perfect for all new customers. It comes with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash or the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off the starter pack with an exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code SMOKE at shopmando.com. Shopmando.com, smell fresh, stay dry, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresh, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Speak to the relationship of the big three. Again, obviously, first 4 championships in the W, Cheryl and Tina. What was your guys' dynamic like? All different backgrounds, all different journeys, landing in one spot and making magic happen.
Yeah, I think, I would say 2 people's names real quick that help bring us together. One, Kim Pratt.
Shawty P, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
How instrumental was she? You've always spoken very highly. How instrumental was she?
She was pivotal. She was our glue, she was the one that ran the show. Mm-hmm. She was the soldier. She was the one that was like, yo, Coop, don't shoot that. I'm not gonna pat. Don't shoot the next one, right? She was the one that everyone listened to, and she brought us all together. She came out of a tryout. She came out of a tryout, and then she sacrificed a lot of her game for the big three, right? She scored 54 points in college, right? So she was a scorer, and she came out and she just ran the team and really morphed into whatever we needed her to be in order for us to win championships.
She was fast, too.
Yeah, and she would dog the ball up the court. Look, I think I led the team in steals, or I was second. Because she would deflect the ball and I would steal it. Because I was in denial. I was always in denying. I was always denying the ball. You know why? Because I ain't really want to play no defense. Yeah, man. Because if you deny the ball and they don't get it,
they go to the
other side.
But that's what they tell you, though. One pass away, you should be in deny anyway.
Yeah, look,
how was your help side defense?
My help side defense was ridiculous.
Okay.
I was in help side defense all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Because by the time the ball got to my side, I was denying. Right?
Yeah.
Now, remember, y'all, I'm denying. Kim tips it, and I steal it. Man, come on now. That's a life, right? You ain't really got to do nothing but stay in the passing lane.
Make sure your hands are ready.
Contain and contest, baby. That's my thing.
Contain and contest. Contain and contest.
Oh, shit. No, but speak to that team, though, obviously. Or, excuse me, though, the big three, because, correct me if I'm wrong, simultaneously, the Rockets are trying to build their big three with Olajuwon, Barkley, and Drexler at the same time, right? And you guys were the team that got it right. Yeah,
I think we got it right we were different. We were special for a reason. The other person I wanted to mention was Van Chancellor. He was a good manager of people and helped us kind of come together. So there were some tense moments. Why? Tense moments because, Tina was young, rookie, first ever drafted in the WNBA. And then Cheryl was pregnant and coming in, and somebody else came in and stole her position the way I think she saw it, right? And now she won it back. So the question is, can we play together? So me, I've done my homework. I didn't know who Cheryl Swoops was when I first got back to the WNBA. Like, I didn't know who she was. But then I read up on her, won the national championship, scored 47 points, cat quick, plays defense, both sides of the ball. Like, I did my homework, so I know who she is. She comes back, and in my mind, we can work together, right? Because our games aren't similar. She's more of a, shooter. She plays defense. She's transition. Me, I'm a slasher. I'm trying to get to the rim every chance I get. And when I don't get to the rim, I'm trying to get there anyway. Right? Yeah. I'm trying to, I'm getting closer.
When I can't get to the rim, I'm trying to get there anyway.
That's right. Don't let her go right. I fake left to go right. I jab step to go right. I in and out and go back right. Stop me from going right. That's my thing. Right? I go left to go right. I hit a 3-pointer to go right. I'm just trying to go right.
Go right.
I hear the coach telling, they yelling on him, don't let it get right, play it to the right. I in and out, shoulders going this way, the ball going that way, baby. I'm already to the rim by that time. By the time they figure it out, there's a couple chicks still at the gym looking for me.
Right now.
Right now. Right now. Right? So, I believe we could play together.
Yeah.
Cheryl wants to be the MVP. I'm the MVP. Right? The great thing about us three was I was older. Tina was young. And Cheryl was right there in the middle. So I knew what we had to do in order to win. And remember, you guys, I'm well-versed at sacrificing because I did it in college.
Yep.
Right? I did it when I played USA basketball. So I know how to play a role. But the role I'm playing right now, I'm her. I'm her. Now, everybody else line up, get in line. Now, I ain't going to be here forever because I'm older. But right now, this is my role.
Let's ride this wave.
I've earned it, right? In my mind, I've earned it. In Cheryl's mind, she was giving it. In Tina's mind, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be there, right? And that's why our dynamic was so great because we were all at different phases and it was unique and it worked, right? Because we were willing to sacrifice when we needed to sacrifice to win a championship and not make each other, not make each other the enemy, but come together and make them the enemy. Right, and I think that was...
That's a tough thing to do. I mean, you explained it very well, but I mean, egos are a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a hard, I think on the men's side in particular, I can't speak to the women's side, that keeps a lot of teams from getting over that hump that have a ton of talent, is egos and stuff like that. For you guys to be able to somehow put it aside for the greater good, it shows.
Even Kelsey said, like, women can be way more cattier than men.
Oh, yeah.
When they talk they trash.
We are terrible sometimes, but I think for us, like I said, we had the unique combination that I had already played 11 years of professional basketball.
You're
so I'm in the gym. So I'm in the gym. We practice at 11. I'm there at 7. I'm doing my sprints. I'm doing my weights. I'm doing my shots. I'm there after we finish. I'm there. I grab the rookies. We playing one-on-one. I'm working on my game. I'm working on their game, my game. I'm getting better. And so, for me, it was just, everybody needs to play their role. Like when it was my turn to play my role, I did that. Now it's somebody else's turn to play that role for this time. Not forever,
Right.
for this time. And I think we had that dynamic, which is why we were successful. And then the other thing is, we realized everybody was after us. Right after the first year, there was an influx of the ABL players. That league folded, so
That's
now
the
they're
league
coming.
that said they didn't have enough room for you, huh?
Yeah, the same league that said no, they were good. They had enough guards.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
That part.
I'm just doing it. Shake them.
Come on.
I was giving them numbers. Couldn't wait till they came.
With all due respect, what we're obviously, because it's a huge topic now of what women are making. This is the inaugural first 3 to 4 seasons. What kind of money are you guys making annually from the W?
Oh, I think the top players were making, I want to say 60 or 70.
Okay.
Maybe 60,000. And then the top, those top 4 players had additional marketing deals. We weren't making a lot of money, but to be honest with you, it was like a summer job. right? So it was a summer job. You were making your money overseas. You came back, you played in the WNBA. If you were, lucky enough and you won a championship or two, you got a marketing deal on the side. You had some bonuses that you received. To be honest with you, I was happy because I'm playing in front of my family, my friends. We're having success. H-Town is in the building.
It's what you wanted 10 years ago.
Yes, it's what I wanted, 10 years. But, can you imagine? Oh, Lord Jesus.
I told him that earlier. I say, if the W would have came 10 years ago, she'll have like 10, 12 championships.
Like, me and the W at 25 instead of 35?
Nasty.
Yo, and my first step at 35 was ridiculous.
Still.
What?
Still.
Come on, man.
Still a problem.
Man, a problem. And so, but I don't regret it. I mean, I don't regret laying a foundation. I don't regret, bringing my A game because I did that purposefully. It was on purpose that I brought my A game because I felt like if I brought my A game, I was going to lay a foundation, a solid foundation, not just a foundation, a solid foundation for the next generation, right? They didn't know I was playing because of that or playing hard every single game because, I have to show these fans that women's basketball is legit. Like, I remember I was in New York City. I'm walking down the street, getting ready to go to Nike Town. I'm getting ready to go to Nike Town. I'm just walking down the street in New York City. Dude hops out of a taxi and goes, "Oh my God, you're Cynthia Cooper." Listen, y'all, I made it. Man, if you get recognized in New York City, come on now, on the street with a random dude hopping out of a taxi, you made it. Like, that's life.
Yeah.
Come on, the kid from Watts, right? And so it just made my day. Man, I stopped, we took pictures. I was gonna get him some shoes. I'm like, dude, I love this. I made it in life.
I love it. Well, obviously, I still feel, and I think a lot of people feel, and you weren't celebrated enough and weren't given enough flowers for what you did. Everything you just said, you paved a solid foundation, helped pave a solid foundation for what the game is today. And I think this is year 28 of the league. We got to do something to celebrate.
Well, I'm here, right?
Okay.
This is our celebration, right?
No, we got to do something bigger than this to celebrate.
Well, I will tell you, I love to see the success that the W is having right now. Like, I love it. I mean, that's why we did what we did, to make the sacrifices you make and, keep going hard so that you see these players have the success they're having now. And you see the level of talent grow and grow and grow because now you can dream of playing pro ball here in America.
But, I mean, and not just for women, like I went through my own little overseas thing growing up, but like knowing your story coming out of high school, like that helped a lot of people, not just women, it helped men too. It's just like you can go overseas and still, still make it happen. That's your journey. It's not the end, and don't think your career is over because you're going overseas and you really got NBA dreams. You still can make it. So your story helped a lot of people.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. And you know what? It was real. It was the real deal. Like I didn't cut corners. I did what I had to do. And
that's what it all boiled down to, man. Do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
Period.
Make the sacrifices, and then stay the course. Be a finisher in what you do. Don't just limp across the finish line. Be a solid finisher, so that you can leave a legacy of hard work and a legacy of winning. I'm in it to win, and I'm not just a participant. I'm participating to win.
Quick hitters. We're coming down the home stretch here. First thing to come to mind, let us know top 5 women basketball players ever, in your opinion.
Top 5 women basketball players ever. Can I
curse?
Name myself?
Absolutely.
You got to be in there.
So I would say myself, Cynthia Cooper, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore. How many is that? 3? I will say top 5. Lisa Leslie. I like Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
This is of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl Miller.
Cheryl Miller, yeah.
So you, Cheryl, Lisa, Diana, and
Maya Moore.
Maya Moore.
2 UConn, 2 US, 3 USC.
Yep.
Maya Moore was cold. She just didn't play a long
truth.
time.
Yeah.
Oof.
Absolute
She was
truth.
tough.
That's how
A
good she
beast.
was. She didn't have to play.
She was
I could
cold.
shut it down. I'm so nice.
Yeah.
She was nice.
No, she was a beast.
Most underrated food spot in LA.
Underrated. Popeye's chicken.
Underrated.
Well, hold on. Let me rephrase myself because when I say LA, terms say Compton and LA. So do you consider Watts LA?
Yes.
Because they say Compton, we don't call Compton LA. That's what terms say.
Hey, first of all, I would just tell y'all real quick. When I was growing up, Compton was the suburbs.
Okay.
You know
When
what
you was
I'm
growing
saying?
up, they dead now.
Yeah, they had nice houses. Over
Yeah.
there. You know, we in the projects, Nickerson Gardens, Imperial Courts, you know. Then we moved up to over there by Jordan Down. You know, we had a little apartment where 8 kids were in 2 bedrooms. Anyway, I won't go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so underrated food spot in Los Angeles. Let's see. No, I'm gonna stick with Popeye's chicken.
Popeyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with Popeyes.
Childhood crush.
Oh, Mark Robbins.
Mark Robbins.
Yeah, and y'all know about Mark. He was my first boyfriend ever.
Mark Robbins.
Oh,
Well,
we don't know him.
I
we
don't
don't
know.
know him.
I don't know. Terry Briscoe might, from Valerie Briscoe, her brother. Anyway, because I ran track. Anyway, he took me to the prom. I had a Jerry curl then too.
Okay.
Like,
Y'all both had matching curls?
what?
Did you have a celebrity crush growing up?
Celebrity crush? No, I didn't really have a celebrity crush.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch TV.
You was hooping.
Yeah, I was hooping or running track or running from people or that's how I got my change of direction.
She said that's how I got my change
Yeah,
of
you want
direction.
to know how I got my change of direction?
Zigzagging them.
What? Come on now, I'm running. I'm getting
Like Day.
right. Hey,
You're not
I
gonna
play-
catch me, baby.
We
D.
used to play tag in the junkyard. Come on now, you
Yeah.
right around the cars. Don't touch me. Not tag. Yeah,
of a sudden I had to
man.
get
Change of
the shot.
direction, baby. Come on now.
One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing. A beast. She is the truth. And I mean, she's the truth, and she was a rookie. Right?
Yeah.
Knock down the 3-pointer, get to the rim. She can get to the free throw line. She's
the ball.
crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty. So sometimes she's look like she's coming off for a 3-point shot and she backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass. She can shoot. Man, she is a complete basketball player. And you know what I want to see? So many people talked about Sabrina and Steph, with that 3-point shooting contest. You know what I want to see in the WNBA All-Star game? I want to see Sabrina Ionescu shoot against Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see that 3-point shooting contest.
Yeah, facts.
That's dope. Hopefully it'll be there. It's in Indiana this year, right?
Yep.
Again?
That the NBA was there last.
Yeah.
One album on repeat.
Oh, Luther. Anything Luther.
Big Luther or little skinny Luther?
With the Big Luther. Definitely
Yeah,
Big
Big
Luther.
Luther.
Definitely
Gotta
Big
be
Luther.
Big Luther.
Yeah, Luther, and my second choice would be Yolanda Adams.
Yeah.
I'd be. So many people think I got this music, hip hop music, blasting in my headphones before a game, and really, I'm between Luther, Whitney. And Yolanda, because shoot, I'm already hyped for the game.
Yeah.
I don't need to get more
Yeah.
hype.
You're already ready.
Yeah. So, yep.
Rate these 3 names. MJ, Kobe, Bron.
MJ is 1. I'm gonna have to go with my boy Kobe as 2.
That's how I do it too.
And LeBron 3, but LeBron is a beast.
Yes, no question.
Absolutely.
The longevity, the game.
Unbelievable.
The pressure he's been under to perform every single year, and he shows up and shows out.
Every time.
6'8", 260.
Yeah, but when you talk about mentality, though, you gotta talk about Kobe.
Yeah.
When you talk about just the mentality, just the assassin type of mentality, you gotta mention Kobe's name every single time.
Yes, got to.
Like how he confronted a game, how he confronted practice, workouts, and I'm with him. People want to know how you become a Hall of Famer when you start playing basketball at 15. Is that you put in the work, right? You put in the work when nobody else is looking. You put in the work, right? And Kobe talks about his work ethic all the time. And then MJ, he was way before his time.
Right.
He just nobody can stop him. Like whatever era he played in, he would have been MJ.
I agree.
And him.
If you could see one guest on our show, who would it be?
But
You have to help us get your answer on our show.
Oh wow,
set up.
it is a setup. If I could see anybody, I would love for you guys to have JuJu. JuJu
good
Watkins.
call.
Yes,
I
good
love
call. Great call. JuJu, for
JuJu
sure.
Watkins
Yes.
on your
JuJu, for
program.
sure. Big
all
fans
the
of
smoke.
JuJu. Big
Good
fans
call.
of
We
JuJu.
appreciate it. Cynthia, thank you very much. Do we have we don't have our bag. Where's our bag? Take her shopping upstairs. Okay, it's upstairs. Okay, we'll grab
see?
it. That's what she had. We got gear for you.
No,
Everybody else normally get bags. She
You know
get to
what
go
I'm
up
saying?
there shopping. This is
first
crazy.
you locked me out, and now
This is crazy.
Nah, just kidding. Thanks for having me.
Now,
guys.
thanks for coming. Even though we got a whole standoff right next door going on, we want to apologize for that. We didn't think it
worries.
would go down in
Marina Del Rey.
Yeah, goddamn. This is hey, I guess so.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you very much. Continued success. Again, we need to tell your story more on a deeper level.
Well,
let's
thank you.
work on that.
Let's work on it.
Pleasure.
I
to
know a
have
lot
you.
about her story, and I'm honored. Big fan coming from Texas, so to have you on the show is definitely an honor for me. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Cynthia Cooper, All the Smoke. You can catch us on All the Smoke Productions YouTube and the DraftKings Network. We'll see y'all next week.